Did I?
Show- No.
So last Monday was our first meeting for Lulu's bat mitzvah at the synagogue at our temple.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like a big kickoff meeting in person with like the rabbi and the clergy, basically. And
Yeah.
the woman who was scheduling, Kevin wasn't responding. So finally I emailed him and said, like, would you like me to schedule this? Because they were offering a time that is his day with Lulu. So I
Right.
said, would you rather I schedule this on my day, if you don't want to come? And he said, no, I'm coming. So I spent the next week being anxious about having to be in a space with him after not. And also the last exchange was him calling me every name under the sun. But so we both pulled up at the same time and he had Tallulah and he was being, well, we walked in together and I just didn't look at him. I was giving neutral energy because I don't want to interrupt this special day. I also don't need to engage. So, um, when we were waiting and he just started chatting with me as if we were still married,
Uh-huh.
like telling me stories about the store. And when he references the store, he says we. And it's so weird. And I don't know if it's just who's we? We owned the store. Now you have the store.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so, but
Interesting.
he was, started chatting and then I said, "So are we friends now today?" And he said, "Oh, we don't have to be friends. I'm just trying to be civil and cut the tension." And I said, "I'm not tense." I felt fine.
Right.
Be, you know, but Lulu's with us, so I could feel her body enjoy it. So
Mm,
I chatted, and I didn't ask questions. I just responded kindly to anything and then, you know, I mean, it was just fucking bonkers, Jenny. Like, it's bonkers. He looked so bad. He
mm,
looks
mm.
terrible.
Yeah.
He looks unwell, tired. Look, his face looks haggard. He had like a stain on his pants that's just not like him. He
Right.
looked incredibly high, very stoned.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little hard. It was hard. Wait, was this just this Monday? When did this happen?
It
It
must
must
have
have,
because on
yeah,
Friday. Yeah.
just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Um, it was hard for so many reasons because I already learned this lesson since that month that we were being nice to each other and still living in the house. Didn't
Yeah.
really feel great because I was feeling confused. Now it's a new level, which is I'm not confused. I don't trust the kindness. So how do
Mm,
you settle into respectful kindness when there's no rhyme or reason for when he actually is mad at me? So I
right.
can't trust and I can't give too much. And
Right.
also it was our routine in marriage, which was he would
Yeah.
get unrealistically like out of the blue angry at me. He would not be able to communicate about it. And then it would end in that exact way where he'd be gentle and kind of like we're just back to normal. Um and he would say something very similar than what he said this time, something like just trying to get us back to some kindness or inching our baby steps back to each other, whatever it would be. And
Yeah.
the tones are very familiar, but I've grown and out and changed and also have some new protective gear up. So I can't interact with them the same. Um, but it's a strange thing to be confused about. Is it easier to have him be awful to me, is that really what's easier? That I don't,
Yeah.
because it's not confusing. When he's awful, it's not confusing.
Right. Versus this is unclear.
Yeah.
What was happening in your body when you saw him, when you noticed that he was not looking good? Like what was going on?
Nothing. Like I did not have a strong reaction. I was very regulated.
That's okay. So let's celebrate that, Taryn,
Oats,
because it sounds like
celebrating.
brain is confused, but your body's like, I'm neutral. Like I can be here and I'm going to be here to support Lulu in creating this experience. And
Yep.
he's going to play his game. I'm just going to call it a game because
Well,
I
it is a game, and it actually also, I guess the other piece that I felt, not in the moment, but the next day, because I think I dreamt about it,
okay.
was a sadness in the mask for me. Like we've
Mm,
uncovered all of it. So like what that
okay.
actually is not just for Lulu and not just for himself and me, but we had to be in the temple with
Mhm.
our religious figures, and he
Okay.
needs my participation and buy-in to mask that he's a functioning adult. So if he was not interacting kindly to me, he would have to know how to behave in front of these people
Mhm.
without me being in partnership. And we haven't told. I told Tallulah's like Hebrew tutor who was there. She's the only
Yeah.
one who knows because
Okay.
so because I have like more of a friendship with her, but
Right.
the nobody else knew that to them we were still just an intact family.
Okay.
Um
Yes. Hmm.
anyway, it feels yucky to be used that way, I guess. That's what I woke up feeling, sort of like
Hmm.
it's not something worth not like there's not a thing where I'd be like, you can't use me that way,
Yeah.
especially in that setting and especially with Lulu, because feeling her like she was kind of giggling at our banter. It was
Okay.
comfortable for her to see us banter like old times a little bit. Um, like there was a moment where we were talking about the workload that she has for the next 6 months to prepare, and she's
Yeah.
nervous about it. And I think the rabbi said something like, your parents will help you. They both did this. They'll be able to help you. And I said, your dad will be better at helping you. He was really good in Hebrew school, which is this story that gets told, right? Part of his
Okay.
like childhood story. And
Yeah.
he just like brightened up and was like, no, that's true. I really was. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I still know you. I still know nothing has changed. I still know everything about you.
Right.
So weird. But what it did do, I haven't communicated with him, but this Sunday is my dad's birthday. So I did send him a text just asking if I could have Lulu longer than usual so that she can have dinner with. And he said, of course. Now that's not where he was before.
Cool. He's here
So,
now.
hmm yeah.
So like there's this yuckiness that was in you, but I also you named your there was a sadness.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's still sad.
Yeah. And I want to acknowledge that the water was there, the sadness was there to invite you to deeply press in.
Yeah.
And it showed up so that you could be supported.
Yeah.
Because you're cultivating what you were working on is you cultivating that support within,
Yeah.
regardless of anybody outside of you. So like I mean, I hear you holding both of these things. So fuck yes. And thank you, sadness. And thank you, yucky feeling, because it does not feel congruent for you to be putting these masks on. And also, it's you're dancing in this new, you're still in the threshold. Like it's still not confirmed. It's still, and it doesn't need to be. Like sometimes it's not really their business. It'll reveal when it needs to reveal. And for you, what I'm hearing is it actually is supportive for Lulu for you to have this banter and to
Yeah.
allow to continue the facade that he's got his shit together when you can see he's crumbling.
Oh, yes. And she also knows he doesn't really have his shit together on her own levels, but what
Hmm.
she needs and what she's really desperate for is permission from both of us to
Yes.
love both of us without
Yeah.
making the other one feel any kind of way. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
if I can give her that reminder, at the
Yeah.
very beginning of the divorce decision, I would say to her, I still love your dad the same way. And it would make her uncomfortable. Like she didn't like that. She didn't want to hear that. Now,
Right.
but that was also at a time where the concept of divorce was almost like kind of like exciting. The reality of it hadn't set in for her. She was like, all my friends' parents are divorced. It makes you special. You have two houses, all of these kind of vibes. And
Right.
now that the two houses has been experienced for a while and it's not fun and she doesn't like it, she doesn't really want
Right.
to have two houses. She just wants to live at my house but see her dad. And she does say things now like, I kind of wish you guys weren't getting a divorce. Like that's now surfaced. Um, so bottom line, for her to have the comfort to be able to have those moments of like, oh, we're still a family
Yeah.
is nice for her. And we are. I mean, you can't
Absolutely.
undo it. We're still a family. So yeah.
Right. And the way you're showing up now, what's different than what I've heard in the past is you are consciously doing these choices, whereas before it was unconscious. So now you're consciously choosing of being the mother for Lulu that she needs to show
Yeah.
her that she can love both of you,
Yeah.
and it's going to
Yeah.
look different.
Yeah.
And she's having her own experience. So you
Yeah.
also giving her that space to allow all of it is
Hmm.
you're giving. I mean, I don't know if Kevin's doing that. We won't know. we
We
we have a
won't.
sense. We have a sense, and you continuing to cultivate that environment for her is a place where she can come back to collapse into.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm celebrating you, and
Thank
I'm
you,
wondering,
love.
how did you support yourself after, like, maybe it was the next day? How did you support yourself, like, with the sadness and the yuckiness that came up for you?
Well, it's interesting because then I left there and had to go right to a city board meeting and she went home with him, it's like that's always but I got to go right into being busy doing the good work that I do outside of this marriage, divorce, and outside of my identity as a mother.
Right.
I did feel, well, it's funny. There is a village member who's awful. He's just not a good human. He's a bad person, but
Yeah.
he presents very calmly. He's not, so he loves to come in and
Hmm.
sort of grill us on
Interesting.
things. And they're usually social issues where he feels that we're being too liberal. So, criticizing any sort of acknowledgement of Pride Month. And so this time it was really repugnant. It was about, we had been discussing and will be making like a proclamation that our community will not um, allow ICE to use village land for its purpose, And though this is highly symbolic because ultimately the federal government will do what it's going to do, I feel like it's really important that we show our friends and our neighbors because we have many, many community members who are vulnerable, whether
Yeah.
their legal status is or isn't in question, the way they look makes them vulnerable. And I think it's important. And this guy gets up and has prepared some math, and the math is basically how many people are actually, quote, vulnerable in the village, like saying this is the percentage of people that look brown, and it's just such a small percentage. Why would you spend any time or legal money on lawyers to draft this proclamation. It doesn't serve the village. It's only like 1% of the village. And it made a lot of people on the board nauseous, and
Or
he also, he likes to go down the line and pick apart things. So I had said something the week before why I thought this was important. I had said, if we as board members are constantly worried about having a target on our back, that if we do this proclamation, it draws
right.
attention to us, then if no one's ever willing to have a target on their back, bad guys win. And so he was like, so I want to know who you think the bad guys are. And he thought he was having a gotcha moment and was like, so what you're saying is the federal government is the bad guys? And I was so, I think I transferred some of the emotions from earlier in the night of being with Kevin, to just another white man
Yep.
thinking he should be centric, like that because he does not fit the profile of someone ICE will stop, why would we bother? And so usually we don't interact when somebody comes to speak. If, they have their 3 minutes and we let them speak and we don't have to interact. And the mayor didn't want me to, and he was hushing me, but I was not going to be hushed. And I just sort of was like, um, you know, I believe in the rule of law, and I hope you do too. And there are bad actors who are not following the rule of law as they kidnap people off the street and disappear them. So I hope that we are on the same page that even the federal government and its agents need to abide by federal laws. And he was
Correct.
so uncomfortably dumbstruck that it felt really nice to funnel some of that like anger into the space that is not emotional. I mean, it is emotional, and I do get emotional on the village board,
Right.
and I have been overly emotional before. But in this circumstance, the space that I have big emotions and confusion in about another white man fucking with me is
Uh-huh.
messy, and it is subjective, and it's personal, whereas this is the space that I can, you know, flourish in a bit. So it felt nice. And then, Tuesday, I actually took Wednesday. Was that Wednesday? No, yesterday. I ended up taking yesterday off of work because I think it caught up. And so,
Yes.
but I just was like, I am not here. I can't be here today.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah.
I'm celebrating all of this. And I'm going to make, if you're open to a subtle shift in what you shared,
Let's shift. Yeah.
you said you use the anger. I'm like, what I heard you did is you use the energy from your time with Kevin and the mask to fuel
Yeah.
your passion, because anger and
Yeah.
passion are both fire. And it wasn't like you were putting a forest fire out. That could be when we put anger out onto others. It was you were using your passion to stay in right relationship and
Yeah.
speak and use your emotions, because
Yeah.
there's the reason you're on the board. There's a reason that you are emotional. They need that. We need
Yes.
that.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So use it. And I love that you even like didn't even let the mayor like silence you. You're like, no, I'm gonna say this, because you did it in such a skillful way that he didn't know what to do with you. He's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, what do I say to counter this?
You can't. What you have to say is you don't want the same rule of law to apply to everyone. If that's what
Everyone,
you want. Yeah.
which you and I both know it affects everyone when it doesn't apply to like to certain people. It impacts
Yep.
all of us.
Yep.
So fuck yes. And
Thank you.
even your celebrating you once again for taking your day off, of saying, I'm not present. I need to take time for me.
Yeah. Well,
And
and
how did, yeah,
I noticed because on Wednesday I was here and I
yeah,
did maybe tops an hour of productive work. And then I like sat in my cozy chair and could not do anything
yeah,
else. So
right,
why push? It's not gonna, why would I? Yeah.
right. And you're doing it. Like Taryn, you said in the last session, you hired this new attorney. I think she's an attorney. You were preparing for this. you didn't know you were preparing for this, but you were fucking preparing for this
I
so that
know.
you could fall apart and have somebody that you could depend on.
Yes, you're right.
So
It was the ramp up to where I am was
yeah,
very beautifully laid out because the person that she replaced was inept. She couldn't, the other lawyer I had before her could not have carried any load. Yeah.
right. So look at you, and I want to acknowledge this because you're trusting yourself more. Your discernment at that time to get rid of the incompetent person to bring
Yeah.
on board what you needed so that you could do what you needed to do.
Yeah.
So like this is what you're going to keep working on is continuing from what I'm hearing is continuing to trust yourself enough
Yeah.
and follow where you're being called. And it may not always make sense to others. It may look messy, but that's how women create. Birth is messy.
Yes.
No,
You're right. It is messy.
it is. And most of our world wants to deny the mess. They want to deny the darkness, but that's the fertile ground where things are born from. That's the
Mhm.
womb that the baby emerges from.
Yes.
So it's right now what I keep hearing from you is you are constantly moving from the tomb, like you're dying to what was, like you had a little bit of a death moment with dying to this role of, doing what you had to do to move back into the womb of like birthing yourself into this new space.
Yeah.
And that's what we keep doing, rinse and repeat, move from the tomb to the womb, tomb to the womb, tomb to the womb. And you're doing it consciously.
Mm-hmm.
And now Kevin's going to do Kevin. You can't change Kevin, but
Right.
you doing you and being there for Lulu and is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because what I also hear you doing is it's as if you're healing like 22-year-old you of like being there for her, right?
So
Is that
big right now. It's 27. It's
for
like it is
27?
literally you are this has been there's been a lot of uh conversations between us and it's been pretty cool. There's I'm looking for my vape because I'm like, oh, I need to smoke when I talk about this. Hold on. Oh, it's right
Yeah.
here. Okay, good.
Ooh, interesting.
Um,
Tell me what's going on in your body right now because you said you needed smoke when this comes
yeah,
up. So please tell me what's going on.
no, it's so interesting. Like so much exploration of different parts of her where I've been on a journey of like really, and I think we've spent time talking about her, but how for many years I have processed my adolescence, like literally like 16 through 27, as there's some like shame and not even like big shame, more like she was selfish and wild. And I grew up, I got my shit together. I went to law school, I started a family, and I did all these things. And then when I literally started dying in my marriage and was really, really saying that over and over again, like the only thing I could feel was that I was dying. Um, I started revisiting that judgment and the judgment served a purpose, like it kept us on a path towards new structure and success, lots of success.
Right.
But it was fueled through judgment. So, not just like self-motivated change, but that was bad. And now we're doing this new thing.
Right.
And so I've been on a process of actually like honoring her, like, no, no, she was right who she needed to be, but we didn't have the words. And even our culture was not letting women in the 90s uh, be. It was what's wrong with me, the nice guy who likes me so much and I don't want to be his girlfriend anymore.
Right.
That the thought wasn't, oh, then don't be anyone's girlfriend. It was something's wrong with me. I better figure it out, you know?
Hold up. Before you hit that. Oh, you already did it. It's good. We're going to do the muse method. I'm going to invite something. When you notice 27-year-old you is coming up,
Yeah.
your next right now is to fill it with smoking, which is not wrong. It is here
She
for you.
was a heavy smoker, so it's not a coincidence. Yeah.
Right. And you're also meeting her in a new way. So we're going to do the muse method to meet her, to support her,
Okay.
because the smoking is awesome. And is it supporting you where you want to go?
No, I'm like so addicted and I really am scared. So,
We don't have to change it right now. That's not what we're
right.
doing. But
No, I
anytime
know.
it arises, do the Muse method. So we're going to do it right now, even though you just did
Okay.
it. Was there something you want to share first?
Well, we can do Muse now and then keep talking about there are a couple other parts of her now that I've been like really honoring her and sort of letting her step back into the limelight. There's been some behaviors that are like scary slash familiar that were not existent that are kind of back.
Right.
And I think there's like a little bit of a back and forth conversation of her being like, shh, don't tell me to stop. I want to do this. And I
Yeah.
get to be in charge for a bit. You've
Yeah.
been in charge for 18 years. Let me be in charge for a bit.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Yeah.
Cool. I love that she's like saying all of this.
Hmm.
So let's be with her for a moment
Okay.
and then we'll see what arises to work through with the rest of this. So let's close our eyes, follow your breath, connect your hands wherever you might feel her in your body, wherever you might notice her presence. Bring your hands or whatever might feel supportive for her. Let your hands move there. And then as you breathe in, connecting and expanding, just also breathing in all of the support she created the only way she knew how for you at that time. And now let's just connect and expand from this place. And just stay plugged in. Take another breath here and notice what is here now in your body as you're connecting with all of that support and expanding. Noticing what's here. And if some of it wants to be voiced, name it out loud while staying connected. And it can be a sound, it's an expression, it can be released any way it needs to.
Hmm.
And if nothing wants to be named, that's beautiful. Just start to make your way back. Anything you want to share from that minute of connecting?
I think it was it was I think there's a very primary uh topic that the two of me, I mean there's so many more than just two, but these two present me or maybe even like slightly past like the last 18 years version of being the grown up and being rigid and her are kind of fighting about is she wants to take lead for a while with we have become so stressed and uptight, and that was not 20s were fun and free. Very, very relaxed, not stressed. No big
Yeah.
stress, just fun and fun and fun.
Yeah.
Drama. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
where stress was, you know?
Yeah.
And so the need for drama maybe
Ah, good.
slash also which we have been talking about so much, the processing herself through the reflection in the male gaze, which is just not interesting to me anymore. So
Cool.
that is the one thing that I think they don't mesh well
Yeah.
right now. Is it's
Cool.
just not interesting. It's like, and I think it also then leads to a space which is the maybe one of the reasons that current Taryn has been processing so much of a very black and white view of partnership is
Mhm.
not believing that because I don't have any sort of learned life experiences, in, in a healthy new
Yeah.
this new me experiencing partnership. So all I know is being the way she was in order to partner, which was more about a certain presentation
Yeah.
that doesn't suit me anymore. So there is sort of a yeah,
Is
and it's an
there, it's what? What did you just say?
well, I think it's interesting because I think older Taryn now is like the reason why I'm like partnership might not be a thing, or it may be, but it's hard to envision, is
Right.
because she is like, I know how to get a partner, let me do my job. And that's no longer natural. It doesn't feel natural, you know?
Right. So, do you have a knowing of when she shows up, like in you, or when you start to go back to 27-year-old you, and you almost, it's
That's a
as
good
if you
question.
leave your adult presence?
That's such a great question. Well, I will say, I think it's almost a feeling of like vices,
Ooh,
not squeezy vices, but like,
yeah,
patterns and behaviors that are maybe like extreme. So like, and it's usually if there's like, if it's about a distraction of, I think Thursday, yesterday was peak processing how
yeah,
to, uh, where to put the niceness that Kevin was giving me the last few days and not wanting it and also not wanting it, and it was eating me up. And what I think we've talked about this too, this overarching fear, which is, um will I be strong enough to not want to re-engage with him? So I think
right,
when I start having that fear, that is her, because she would go back. This me would not. She
ah,
would go back 100 times because it's passion, it's big drama, it's big gestures and
right,
deep, it's forever, it's soulmate, and that's not my current life experience. But what does then happen is in the before, like over the summer, maybe I would like scroll on an app and want to like talk to a man, which also became so boring and uninteresting because it's like trash can, right? Um,
yeah,
what I ended up doing yesterday was kind of, I'm not even gonna judge myself because it was
oh,
fine, but I was invited last year when I still was involved in the store. I would do like holiday bazaars, like, I'd have like a table and sell vintage stuff. And this one really cool group, it's called like Bad Moms Holiday Bazaar. So it's a women's networking event where professional women meet and socialize. There's food, there's drink, and there's shopping. And I was a vendor last year, and they reached out, and the woman who organizes knows that I'm not part of the store anymore, but she said, I didn't know if you still had any interest in having a table. And I have all this jewelry still, vintage jewelry from the store. So I said, yes,
oh, fuck
I'd
yeah,
love that. Be fun for me. I won't do it as the record store. I'll just do it separately. But then I was bored yesterday having those feelings, and
yeah,
I bought really good stuff, but I have like an auction house, and I just
yeah,
sort of scrolled through and spent a lot of money. Like I didn't need to buy as much as I did. It was a little excessive. So it is an indulgent sort of chaos, a little bit of chaos, or irresponsible is a great word. Like it was not Taryn now who's like, we have a budget and we don't buy things we don't need, and I drive a 10-year-old used car, like, yeah.
right. So, what I'm hearing is you are desiring to create an inner partnership. This isn't something you're looking to do outside of you. To bring 27-year-old along because there's parts of her that you fucking need. You need the wild freedom.
Water.
And
I miss her. Yeah.
right, like that's yes. But the way that sometimes she goes about doing it in the like you said distractedness, but through like the irresponsibility, through the drama, through the responding out of fear isn't
Hmm.
it. So she's here because she wants to be like she wants you to use like to work with her, to be in
Yeah.
partnership.
Yes, I
But now
want her to. Yeah.
but now when she shows up, when you notice the fear or when you're noticing like the indulgence, because it's distracting you. It's distracting you from being with your messiness that is right now. Because you're confused when Kevin gets nice, and it's because you're trying to make meaning out of it. Your brain is trying to make it mean something. It doesn't mean anything. He's
Yeah.
just doing him and he's trying to show up in a way where this can still work
Yeah.
when he has to do the part. Like when it's just
Hmm.
you and you're texting with him, he's going to be his normal asshole self. Nothing new.
Right.
So the fear is showing up in you because it's here to breathe new life into you. You're at the edge of the life you've known. 27-year-old is like, let's do this shit. But she's doing it in an irresponsible, almost reckless way that's actually pulling you out of alignment with who you want to be now.
Hmm.
So it's like almost a sense of, and that might be where we do our ceremony, is something around this, because it's like there's this marriage that's calling to be born.
I love that. I really want to bring her in, and like
Yes.
partner is really the best word. It's not m- I don't want to like meld in a like I don't want to melt it down where we're all mixed up. I want to work with her.
Yeah.
I want to keep learning from her. Yeah, instead of being like, let me teach you what you were supposed to be doing. I want her to teach me again.
Yes, because that's the innocence, the wildness, the even the naivety, but it's not in
Hmm.
a way, it's utilizing that, but also using your adult discernment of all your years of experience so that you can choose from what you know now, not from
Hmm.
27-year-old you.
Hmm.
None of it is wrong, but it also is putting you, and I'm grateful you did this yesterday. Like you saw, this is the information you gathered for your brain. When you don't want to be with your own shit, you start to mindlessly scroll, whether it's a dating app or whether it's like this auction house. It's not wrong,
Shopping. Yeah. Right.
right? But it's trying to fill the void that's here with something that's never going to meet the depth of you. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yes. Completely.
So that's your invitation to do the muse method. I'm not saying you're not going to go buy shit. I'm not telling you that, Taryn. What I'm saying is maybe you buy less shit or
Yeah.
maybe something else shows up, but it's starting to turn towards when the void shows up,
Yeah.
when the discomfort shows up, because it's almost as if she's like raging to express in the way she knows how, which is in a way not honoring of who you are now.
Yeah.
It's like how can these two come alongside each other, and that might be where you're doing the partner muse method, like you first do it regular and then you connect with her highest self and your highest self and say, okay, and now we're going to respond for my adult presence. So what
Hmm.
don't I want to sit with?
Yeah.
What am I uncomfortable with right now? And like maybe she needs to go for a walk and you guys go take a walk together after that.
Yeah. I need more of that actually. Yeah. I need that.
And it
Hmm.
might be starting to turn towards like what would support you right here right now, because that's the old support, is the addiction, is the other things, right? And it's not moving you where you want to go. So this
Yes.
is right, go ahead.
So it's also like a lot of like rewards. So it's like do some grown-up stuff and then you get to reward yourself. That's a huge part of the back
Ooh,
and forth right now. So like yesterday, what I decided pretty early and texted Shanti, the my great, amazing lawyer
mm,
employee, and she's so fantastic. I literally was just like, Bad mental health day. I'm not leaving my house, you know? Yeah.
right.
But I had things I wanted to do, and I made the list, and one was change a light bulb, one was return something, and one was pick up some shoes for Tallulah. And then I did those things, and then I was like, what I should do is think of more things that I could be productive with. And then instead I was like, no, the reward, go
Mm,
home, watch a movie, you can lay in bed. So I
okay.
did that, but that's when the scrolling, and
Yeah.
the buying happened. So, um,
Ah,
yeah.
cool. So
Mm-hmm.
your adult self says, I should do more things to be productive, to be on the path that everybody approves of. And
Mm-hmm.
27-year-olds like, fuck that shit. We're gonna watch a movie and we're gonna start to scroll. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
reward ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you when you're because it's not wrong. We do need that. But I wonder if you're really seeking to celebrate and acknowledge the things that you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and not reward, because it's almost as if this reward is, it's again looking outside of yourself. So what I want to say is like, okay, so do you like to be like acknowledged and celebrated when you do something,
Big time.
or when you're seen? So like you were overflowed, like you were poured over, like overflowingly with the circle that we had, the stage, that shit, right?
Amazing. Mhm.
Okay, so how did that feel?
It was so wonderful. And we might have even talked about that, which was I think I went these 18 years without any of that when
Right,
that was also a big part of I
right,
liked being celebrated. So,
right.
yeah.
So you were like a desert, and then you felt all of that water start to like wetten the soil or wetten
Mm-hmm.
the desert area.
Mm-hmm.
So you like to be celebrated. And I'm wondering, how did it feel for you to do the scrolling and the addictive ways and the irresponsibility
It
ways?
felt it doesn't feel great. The scrolling, I
Cool.
actually what's interesting is even when I'm not like buying things, I used to be a like this was a big complaint. Kevin loved to
Wow.
complain about how addicted to my phone I am. I am. Very like that's the addiction.
Cool.
Um and so but the scrolling on Instagram has become less prominent. Like you know how your phone will tell you how much time you've spent on it. It's definitely decreased. But
Cool.
it was that vibe yesterday. I just felt sort of like brain mush. And I was then
Brain.
like very, yeah, like I just was sort of like dull. And I was laying in bed with this, you know, smoking and
Yeah.
um this uh and then Jude got home and Lulu got home. Lulu needed a ride, but I Jude needs money. So I outsourced and said, if you drive her there and back, I'll give you some money. And then I really didn't have to, which was fine, but the driving would have gotten me up out of the bed and moving around a little bit. So,
Right. None of that is wrong.
yeah.
All of that is what you needed to gather more information.
Hmm.
So when you were poor, the desert was finally watered after years of being dry. You felt wonderful. You felt life giving. You felt, I need to do more of this. I need more of this in my life.
I felt
Versus
very energized. Yeah.
energized. Okay. Versus this, which it doesn't feel good. You're in a brain mush and it feels dull.
Yeah.
All of that is information, because then you're smoking, you're just sitting there smoking in bed, you're vegging out, you're scrolling, right?
Mhm.
And so would you be willing to notice when that happens, notice what's going on in you to gather more evidence? Because right now what we need, what I'm hearing is a desire to build an evidence bank so that your brain starts to turn a different direction. This is what is
Mhm.
known and comfortable and safe. It is
Mhm.
not wrong, but it isn't helping you move to what you want. It's keeping you
Yes.
from it. So it's
Yeah.
not wrong. Just gathering the information without making it wrong and say, okay, I am going to do this right now.
Yeah.
And notice what's happening in you. And they're like, okay. But then also noticing when you're getting life poured into you, when you're touched by life. So
Hmm.
whether that's out for a walk, whether that's you doing being on the board, what being a mom, whatever that is, notice what is going on inside of you and ask, like, those are the moments you want to do the muse method too. Like you want to do it in both of these times, because what you're doing is you're being with the part of you that feels like, I want to stay unconscious and not fully experience life, because that feels safe and comfortable. So you want
Hmm.
to do it so that you're filling up the void with more of you, so your muse starts to expand, because those are the areas you feel stuck, right? Those are the patterns that keep repeating. It's like a broken record. So
Hmm.
that's when you're doing it, it's like you visualize that as where it feels icy, where it's
Hmm.
stuck, right?
Yep.
And that
Yes.
when you're doing the muse method, that ice is starting because you're turning your inner flame on. That space
Mm-hmm.
that's stuck is starting to melt. It's starting to vaporize. It's starting to water the dry grounds.
Yes, 100% yes.
And then when you're in the spaces where it feels wonderful, life-giving, like it fuels you, it excites you, doing the muse and saying, show me where more of this exists. Show me how to create more of this.
Yeah.
Because it's also what we're doing by doing it when it's feeling dull and your brain is mush, is you're calling in that energy of 27-year-old you to extract some of that power to move you now. Because that was
Mm-hmm.
power.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just muted and buried because you had to follow the right path.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, I'm going to be with you and we're going to do this differently. Because when the fear shows up, that's kind of like your check engine light of, uh-oh, she's taken overboard. I'm no longer present as my adult self.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to work with you. So we're going to do this together, but I might choose something different this time.
Mm-hmm.
Will you walk alongside of me as we find a way to do this better? So it's asking her questions of like, what would support you?
Yes. And I actually, while you were just talking, I strayed for a second thinking, but what would be a different option? And I immediately like the muse answered. Like it was like what I really want is to create, one of those rooms upstairs. I have those two empty rooms now. Those were the rooms that Kevin really occupied. And I
Right.
want to make a sanctuary space that's not surrounding my bed. Like being in bed leads to vegging. But I think
Right.
what I want is like I wanted to like stretch and like turn on some like meditative music, like yoga music, and just stretch out my body and like meditate. Like that's what the other answer is. And
Wow.
she would like that too. She used to love that kind of stuff. So that maybe is the crossover between us, is that kind of
Yeah.
sacred time. Yeah.
Well, and what I heard that was different from what you chose beautifully yesterday was there was lack of movement. There was more of you staying in the cave, in that womb space, rather than
Hmm.
saying, actually, this is what needs to die. Like, it's not
Yeah.
saying you're never going to veg. It's not saying you're not going to smoke right now. It's not saying you're not going to scroll. We're not saying no to any of that. What we're
No,
saying
we
is,
can still do those things, just not like let's have other options too to feed.
correct. So, how might you start to cultivate this space? What do you need to do to cultivate this space?
I think I have to move some things in there to actually make it a space. Like right now, there's nothing. Like one room has like our laundry and the other has a mattress, and that's it. So I think, and I have things, like I think I just need to make it a space that has the tools, like the actual tools, like some rugs and blankets and pillows to like do some yoga in there?
So would you be willing to start to work towards that?
Yeah,
Sometimes, when would you like to work on this?
soon. Maybe Sunday even. I think what's been stopping is like this back and forth grown-up discussion of which room is the room for me. It's very,
Same.
very logical. Like you should
I
listen to
know.
this. Okay? So
Yeah.
one room is bigger than the other. The smaller room is Kevin's real space. He slept in it. It was his man cave. It is, and that's why we saged it. I don't I but I'm resistant to making that room for a couple reasons. One, I'm like, is he still in there? Is his ghost still in there? But two, is it disrespectful? Somehow it keeps being, is it disrespectful
Mm. Say more. Is
to,
it just
I think specifically to the kids. If I just make it my new like yoga palace, like even like originally I envisioned moving my altar in there. But then I'm
yeah?
like, is that such a like I'm taking it over and that's not dad's space anymore. Should I be inviting them to it really is this back and forth of should I be
Yeah.
inviting them to make this space ours? And I don't think they really give two shits about it. But I keep thinking that's what I should be asking. And then the bigger room feels like it's a guest room. It should be a guest room. I don't need to like two
Right.
yoga rooms. And it currently has a day bed, which is a trundle bed in it. Like I should just let that roll and turn that into a space for if I host a guest. Um,
Cool.
so that's kind of the circular that's keeping me from taking over either of those spaces.
Cool. I fucking love this because what you're doing is you're shining a light on it.
Hmm.
You just said it feels disrespectful to the kids. So would you be willing when that starts to show up in you asking the question that we talked about last time, how are my choices a blessing to everyone involved, including me?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because what if you just said, what if the ghost of Kevin's still there? Well, he is there because you're creating him there.
Hmm. I'm letting him still like hold that room. Yeah.
Right. Because your logical brain is trying to come up with all these fucking stories. I love you, brain. We're going to
Thank
set you down.
you. Yeah.
I'm going to start moving up some stuff. Hey, Lulu, you want to come help me create this space? This is going to become my new sanctuary where we can stretch, where I'm going to have my new altar. Would you want to help me with that? No?
Love
Cool.
that.
I'm going to start setting it up.
Hmm.
Like,
That's really
because now
beautiful.
you're marrying everything you want.
Hmm.
Because Lulu wants this for you, and she's also in the reality of what was is dying, and she doesn't like it. She gets to not
Yeah.
like it. It's fucking
Yeah.
uncomfortable as shit. It's
Hmm.
uncomfortable for everyone.
Hmm.
So if you create a space for you to go so that they feel that you are even more present with them because you're not mindlessly scrolling it, you know what I mean? And you're in the dullness, they feel that.
Yeah.
And it's not about them, it's about you. You feel that. It doesn't fill you.
Hmm.
It's about them, but if you start with yourself, it ripples out to them.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that could get in the way of you starting that this weekend? Because this is where you're probably going to have a lot of conversations with your brain and just say, I love you, brain. We're doing it a new way. We're going to listen to my body. This is what feels good for me.
No, I think actually even just us talking it through, I was like, oh no, of course. And I just saw like, oh, that's the piece of furniture from that other room. That's going to be where the altar is. And this is how the room will like lay out. Like it just sort of like rippled into place and into
Right.
vision. So
Cool.
yeah. Hmm.
And what the shift is from back then versus now. Back then, 27-year-old of you got buried under taking responsibility for everyone else but you. What you're
Yeah.
doing differently now is you're taking responsibility for you first and foremost,
Hmm. Yeah.
which doesn't feel right. It feels wrong
Yeah.
because that's not what the world told you to do.
Right.
And when you
Exactly.
notice you're shitting on yourself and you're like standing in a big pile of should, like I should do this. Says who?
Yeah.
Like start to question it because that's when you're literally standing in a pile of shit.
Hmm.
Fucking burying yourself in the shit again. And you're like, wait,
Hmm.
that's not it.
Right.
I want the wild and free version 27 to come through. And she's like, I want you to bring me.
Yeah. Please take me along. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I pictured that being your room. Like I saw it when I was there. I'm
Hmm.
not going to say that until you come to that realization on your own because I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
it's already here. It's just not yet.
Yeah.
And now it'll
Yeah.
be. And if you
Yeah.
want, as like a support and accountability, would it be supportive to even just take a picture with whatever you get done this weekend and send it to me?
I will. I will
To
do that.
fucking celebrate you because part of you wants to be celebrated, wants to be acknowledged. So right
Yeah.
now, while you're learning how to do that for yourself, leaning into somebody else is going to be that's going to celebrate you is going to help that 27-year-old turn towards these parts. Your
Yeah.
adult self turn towards what you're actually moving towards.
Hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. The all is in the small. So the more you can focus on the small things, you can find all things. You can find what you actually need
Yeah.
because you're cultivating that foundation of love and trusting yourself, which was already there, but some of it
Mhm.
got buried in taking
Yeah.
responsibility from others.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. And I
Thank you.
wanted to share a quick story and then I want to hear like something from you. So this is me living it out. I just want to illustrate through yesterday. My dad is like leaning into me more because of stuff with my mom and his mom dying when he was 18 and never having time to process. And they just kept on moving. They kept on
Of
living. That's what
course.
they
Hmm. That's what,
couldn't
right.
express, couldn't express, all these things. So I'm noticing, I'm like, I am being invited to be the daughter right now. I can't carry my dad's shit. So I texted Michael Tenderheart, the one that did the fire, because my dad was out
Yes.
with him every day during my vision fast. So they are like brothers now. Like Michael's
Yes.
like my brother. So I texted him. I'm like, Michael, can you please, if it feels right for you, can you reach out to my dad? He could use some support. And I just left it at that because my dad won't lean in because he doesn't know how to lean in. So
Yep.
I did it for
Like
him,
so
Terry.
many of our men. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I did it for him, but I honestly I did it for myself. It was for me because I was like, my dad needs some fucking support so I could be the daughter. So I'm gonna put this in place so he can get the support so he doesn't lean on me. Because it's not all mine. I did it for me first and foremost, which I'm seeing what it's doing for him.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like asking, how can my choices bless everyone involved? And that's where I'm like, oh, I'm already seeing it. Because now my dad is learning to lean somewhere else rather than to me as daughter. Because I reminded him yesterday, I'm like, Dad, I also need to be the daughter. My mom is in her final chapters, so I need to be present to this. I can't do that for you.
Yeah.
And so you know what I mean. So I'm sharing that to say this is how we bless everyone involved is by honoring what we need. Because when we honor
Yeah.
one, we honor all.
Mhm. It's lovely. It's important.
Mhm. Did that story resonate at all with you?
Completely. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, after years of doing this, that was easy yesterday. I didn't even question it. I just went to that response because I accessed what I didn't receive back then. I did the muse method, and then she's like, "This is what we need to do." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." Whereas before,
Yes.
I would have, been like, "Oh, I don't want to take that responsibility." I'm like, "No, he's already told me what he needs.
Yep.
Like he's told
Yep.
me, so it's
He
good."
said yes. The message was received. Yeah.
Right, right.
Fuck yes.
So after like what are the things you're taking away from our time together today?
I think a couple things. One, I feel like most prominent now is the thought of making that room a space really, really soon. Like
Okay, cool.
I'm very excited about it. Just like gathering things and moving things and feeling like it's another space that we can all enjoy. It's not just my space, but it'll be a strong representation of my centering and my peace, which they get to enjoy my peace and have really been benefiting from.
Mm.
But also just the conversations of how to integrate and partner with the different parts of me. It's very inspiring, and I feel like there's more of a clear vision of that, whereas before it was a bit of a wrestling match. Yeah.
Yeah, let it be a wrestling match too when it's there, because it can
Yeah.
feel like a tug of war.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is if both of you, if you start to set down the rope, she's gonna fall on her ass.
Hmm.
Vice versa. One of you is gonna fall on your ass, and then you can laugh at
Flipping.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna be like, well, that's not it. We're here to do this together.
Right. Right.
So it's like because I remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about this, like you wanted it to you like to look a certain way and like all of these things. It's also allowing the messiness to be there. So
Yeah.
you can be like, doing this imperfectly and keep allowing it to emerge. Because
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're cultivating more trust, or she's cultivating more trust that you're gonna have her back and that
Yeah.
you're gonna allow the wild and free part of her to be free. Because when you talked about creating this space, I felt every part of her like, yay, I can put it all out there. I can be fully me and I don't have to
Yeah.
hide anymore and do it in just my room. I can be in front of the kids.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
It is. It's exciting.
Hey, cool. Is there anything that might feel good to end our time well together today?
No, this was perfect.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, my heart.
You're welcome. So do you want to look for just next week to see if we're, and if anything shifts with my mom, you know, I'm going to keep you updated.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Please
keep you
do.
posted. I will.
Yep. You know that we will be flexible around you.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably same time. I just want to double check.
yeah,
If or like midday again.
yeah. I'm available at 1 or 2. Is there, or even like 12 to 2.
Let's
Like,
do
yeah.
12. 12 it was good, has been consistently good, and there's nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, and I please just feel into this. You don't have to have an answer. Like a lot of times I might ask you questions and it's okay if you don't have the answer because the
I
question opens up.
know.
Okay.
Well,
So,
that I think I'm very I take that note happily. Thank you for that. Yeah.
so feel into if it feels like it might be the time to do that ceremony next week and like you come out to
Oh, I think that might be really great. Should we
so
talk about that? Yeah.
I'm totally open to doing that. And I would say we
Okay.
might do a little bit longer. It might be like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So like if
I
you could
just
do
have to be able to get back to Lulu to drive her around 3:30. So
it
should
should
we
be fine
start? It
at
should be
noon.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we're done by 1:30, let's say,
Yeah.
and out from there,
Yeah.
you would still have time to do run an errand or whatever you needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. And
Thanks,
then
Jen.
maybe if it feels supportive, and I'm inviting this because as you're deepening your relationship with her, it's important to keep it warm. So, is there an item that maybe is going to be on your altar that you could bring that's going to help you to remember her, that you can bring back home with you to like continue to foster that relationship with her?
For sure.
Okay, so bring that, whatever that is. And
Mm-hmm.
even let's say you forget it, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's going to be you're thinking of it while we're doing the things.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Okay, cool. All right. Well,
I
I look
love
forward
you.
to seeing it. I'll adjust our the schedule for 12 to 1:30. And then if anything
Perfect.
comes up between now and then, reach out. And please, I'd love to see pictures with whatever progress because celebrating in this new way and acknowledging in this new way, it might feel weird at first, but once you get into that rhythm, you're gonna recognize those outside things don't fill you the same way this is gonna fill you.
Yeah. I
But
feel
it
it.
might take a while. Cool.
I'll send
Cool.
you.
All right. And just keep, if your brain starts to take over, it's like, but remember when I got overflowed, the desert got watered after all those years? That's what I'm going
Didn't
after.
we
So
like that feeling? Yeah.
right. So I know it feels like this is easy, but I don't want to choose the easy way anymore. I want to choose the
Right.
way that it's giving to me.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. All right. I will send you the recording. Is the notes in the recording still helpful for you?
Yeah, it
Or
really is. It
okay.
is. Thank you.
All right. I will see
I'll
you
see you
next week and I
soon.
look forward to seeing the room.
Okay, honey. Talk to you soon. Bye.